I'm Bart Fisher, and I am counsel here for Albertine Enterprises. And my background is that I have a PhD from Johns Hopkins in international relations, and I have a law degree from Harvard. We did a giant joint degree. And what I do is international trade law and international law. And the lobbying that we do is both international and domestic. So my interest is working as part of the team here, and it takes a team to achieve objectives for clients. We're problem solvers for clients, and we represent individuals and trade associations, corporations, and governments.
Great. And so where are some of your clients?
Well, I have major projects underway in four continents. Right now, we're working very hard in Brazil. We have a case involving the largest pension fund in Brazil, which is called Postalis. These are the postal workers. And they have a pension fund. And they have lost a lot of money due to mismanagement by their fiduciary administrator custodian, a U.S. bank. And we have legal actions underway in Brazil and in the United States, and also lobbying efforts. And so with Albertine Enterprises, they work with our law office to get a result for the client. And sometimes you have to go down different tracks simultaneously. You go through the legal track and you go through the lobbying track, and one supports the other. So we do a lot of work, regulatory work at the agencies here, at the U.S. Trade Representative's Office, the International Trade Commission, the State Department, to get results. Now, my area in particular is trade and investment. So I do international trade negotiations. And for example, recently we worked with the U.S.-Korea free trade agreements. And that involved a very interesting case. It's a client from Korea, a very brilliant person, who maybe someday will get the Nobel Prize, invented a lightning device that will repel lightning. You know, the classic, iconic American invention is called the lightning rod, the Franklin rod, which was invented 260 years ago. And what it does is attract the lightning so it flows through the rod and to the ground, gives the lightning a safe path to the ground. But the problem with that is along the way the house gets singed or burned down. But our client, Dr. Young-Ki Chung in South Korea, has invented a lightning rod that repels the lightning by negatively charged particles, repelling the negatively charged particles in the lightning, so it doesn't strike. And we have been engaged by Dr. Chung to get the lightning rod accepted into the United States. Right now, the only standard that's acceptable is the Franklin rod, even to this day, despite all the advances in electronic engineering. And the reason is protectionism, pure and simple. The lightning rod industry consists of mom and pop small family enterprises, and they don't want competition. They don't want foreign competition. So we've got a better lightning rod, as it were, and we still work to get this accepted. And there's a standard in the U.S. put out by a trade association called NFPA, National Fire Products Association, and they put out standards, and they only will allow the Franklin rod. And we're saying, well, but there's been a lot of advances since then. So that's a case where we're trying to get foreign products into the United States, but it's technical because it involves electronic engineering, it involves standards. We do a lot of area also in international trade area known as customs. And with U.S. Customs, every item entering the U.S. has a line item, which is a classification, it's called, and a valuation. And so I had a case once involving dollhouses. How would a dollhouse be classified? If it were classified as a toy, it would bear a tariff of 15%. If it were classified as a model made to scale, it would bear a tariff of 8%. You know, a dollhouse is really both. So I had another case involving flower pots, which had 4 different alternative classifications, each with a different tariff. And so the importer always wants the lower duty, and the domestic industry wants a higher duty. So I do a huge amount of work in customs area. And over the years, we've done a huge amount of work for Mars Incorporated, the people who all make M&Ms. And the question would say Twix, you know, it's a chocolate and rope biscuit. But if the tariff is on a confectionery, it's viewed as a confectionery, it's a 7% tariff. If it's viewed as a biscuit, it's a 3% tariff. But it's a chocolate and rope biscuit. So I won that case by establishing that by volume and by weight, it was a biscuit because they had more wheat than chocolate. And so that involved millions of dollars from ours because they bring it in from England. Twix comes in from England. So I'm always arguing about how something should be classified under customs law. And it's really a variation of tax law. You know, in the early days of the Republic, the government was financed by tariffs until 1912. So obviously this was always a contentious area, and I do a lot in the area of customs and trade, generally speaking. And I'm the guy that gets on the airplane here and goes, I've had 12 major international trips in the last 12 months.